Now I gotta ride or die.
So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm hitting you with a little bit of a different video because I get asked quite a lot what cars I think are going to go up in the next 3 to 5 years that you could invest in right now, enjoy, and maybe get your money back after mods, or cars that are physically going up in price right now. Now before this video starts, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think is going to go up in price in the next couple of years. We know that the Cosworths are already going up in price. We know the RS Turbos are going up in price, but what other cars do you think are going to go up in value in the next couple of years, and what cars we should be buying right now? Now I understand not everybody wants a car to invest in, and I understand that. I'm just going through all of the cars that I've seen appreciate in price in the last sort of 5 years since me starting this channel, and since I have owned and sold some of the cars that are on this list. Now I've made a list. It was 5 and then it went up to 6 because these cars are a little bit different. It's not your normal GT5 turbos, it's not your Cosworths, it's nothing like that. I think these are cars that are going up in price without us actually knowing, that we could physically go and get into for a couple of grand, you know, maybe 5 grand at a push. You can enjoy for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years and then physically make money out of. Now I'm not saying this is a guarantee whatsoever. I just see a fluctuation in the market at the moment, especially after the whole COVID-19 thing. We're still in the pandemic, we're still going through the motions, but I do feel that this is the time to go and physically buy these cars. And they're not obvious, they're not the obvious E46 M3s that everybody's shouting about buying at the moment. So to start off, my top 6 countdown of cars is going to be the BMW E30. Now personally, I grew up with a 2.5 litre BMW E30 in the family. It was a 2-door, it was manual, it was the dream spec. And to me, looking at eBay and Auto Trader and, you know, Facebook Marketplace and stuff at the moment, there's only a few out there. Now looking about, you're going to get an estate for around 2,000, but that 2-door manual 2.5 is already sailing away over the £5,000 mark. So from personal experience, I actually had a friend a couple of years ago that bought a burgundy one. It was a 2-door, and a 2.5 litre swap into a 318, and he actually sold that car for £1,800, and I think that was around 5 years ago now. For me to go and physically find that identical car, you would be well into the £5,000 mark with a good 2.5 litre swap or 2.5 litre from the factory with a manual box and some good paint. It is very, very hard to find one. In fact, the M-Tech cars that a lot of E30 enthusiasts would say go and buy are well over the £10,000 mark at the moment. Now, this is, of course, online. If you have a friend that has one that's got a 318 2-door manual that needs a bit of work, that wants 2 grand for it, I think that's still a good buy. Personally, I would genuinely like to buy one of these in the not so distant future. I would like to get myself into a manual 318, 316, something like that with nice bodywork, and then I can work on the engine myself. That I think is a very, very good buy at the moment. The last 5 years, I've seen them increase maybe triple or quadruple in price. And obviously, as time goes on, it does mean that all of these cars become harder and harder to find because a lot more of them get dismantled for parts, they get crashed, they get written off, or people just tuck them away and don't want to sell them. So my first car is the E30. I think this is a good buy. I think even buying an estate at the moment is a good shout. I think the convertibles are still a good shout. I would say for me, the 2-door or a convertible would be the way to go for me personally. If you can get a cheap estate, if you can go and get a cheap 4-door, I still think they're a very good shout at the moment. The next car is sort of one that you would expect me to say. It is the Mark 1 Focus RS. I do think that these are climbing rapidly at the moment. I didn't really notice them going up. I noticed them after me driving one a few years ago, that they'd gone from the sort of 4,000 to 5,000 that I was thinking they were worth up to 7 to 8. Now I look online and I see them going for well over that. In fact, looking around at the moment, especially on eBay, Auto Trader and that, there isn't too many around. There is a few on eBay, and the current market value of those cars, I think, looking around market values and stuff and what people are asking for these these cars. I do think you're going to find one over 100,000 miles that is around 10 grand that needs bodywork, that needs engine work. Now that has a lot to be said for one that I know very, very well. In fact, I think the guy's just sold it. He actually swapped his ST170 plus 1,500 quid for it a fair few years ago now, say around 6 to 7 years ago, but that's how much they were worth. They were around about £3,500, £4,000 at the time, and the ST was worth around 3 grand at the time. So he did very well out of that deal. Looking at the current market values, there's a lot of them kicking around at the £13,000 mark. But again, it is down to mileage and, you know, condition of the cars. But I do think if you were to grab one of those at the moment, they're going to be a £20,000 car in the next 3 to 5 years. They're getting far and few between, I think, for a really nice one. A low mileage, low owner one is still kicking around at nearly £16,000, £17,000 right now in 2020. So I do believe that they're going to be a 20 grand car very, very soon. So yeah, number 2 for me would be the Mark 1 Focus RS. Personally, I did actually look at buying them before I bought my RS Turbo Series 1, just knowing that full well if you were going to put your money into them, you were guaranteed to get your money out of the other side even after enjoying it. Now, number 3 for me, a personal love of my life, and I'm going to have to buy one at some point again because they're going up in price. Now, the Toyota Aristo is the twin turbo Supra variant of the Supra from that sort of era. Now the Mark IV Supra, yes, we won't talk about it in this video because it's irrelevant, that the fact that everybody knows that they're going up in price at the end of the day. They've already sailed away into, you know, 20, 30, 40,000 pounds. Now I think the Toyota Aristos are still that hidden gem that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of Japanese fans out there will know they exist. They'll know they have the twin turbo 3-litre 2JZ engine in them, and I think they're getting harder and harder to find. I personally bought one 5 years ago for around £3,200. I evidently, after, you know, starting YouTube and stuff, actually sold that car for around 3.5 to 3.7. I think I sold it for. I'm now looking around and they're around 6 to 10,000 pounds. Now, very vague, I know, but 6 will get you into a relatively good one, good mileage. They will be higher mileage because they're slightly older, but for around 7 to 8, you're looking at a low mileage, you know, just imported, very, very clean version of this car. Now, this is just in the past 5 years. I've personally experienced them going from £3,000 to £4,000 up to 6,000 to 8,000, and I do think that that is an incredible price increase for something that a lot of people wouldn't usually go and buy. So I think for me, even if you're going to go and get into a GS300 at the moment, I do remember buying one for around 500, 550. I think I paid for my first one. I can't find a triple black, all black GS300 with low mileage under 2 grand at the moment. So even now, the lesser models, the GS300s, are creeping up in price. So I think if you're going to buy one of those, there is a huge market for them at the moment, and I do think that market will increase over time. And I think the Aristos are where you need to put your money in. There's one I'm looking at right now on eBay. It's got 56,000 miles on it, guaranteed 3-month engine warranty, all that sort of stuff. And it's just been imported, and that's up for 5,999, so just a smidge under 6 grand. And I think that is a fantastic car to buy. You put that on coilovers, put some nice wheels on it, put an exhaust, you know, do whatever you really want to it. But I think in the long run, you will get your money out of that, because I do think that they're going up. The Chasers and stuff have already disappeared in money. I think they're way up there into the over 10, 12, 13,000 pound mark. Obviously, if you're going to import one and you get one cheap, you can get one cheaper than that. But landed in the UK, I still think the Toyota Aristo, especially the ones that I'm looking at right now, for around 6 grand is definitely a good buy, and something that I think will be going up in price in the next couple of years. Now, number 4, hitting you with a serious curveball at the moment. There'll be people in the comments wondering why I brought this car up. You go on to eBay, Auto Trader and stuff, and try and find a low mileage, white, very nice condition ST150. They're still asking well over 3,000 to 4,000 pounds for these cars. Now, I know you can get them a lot cheaper than that. You can get high mileage one, red, blue, for around 1,000, 1,500 pounds. £3,000, but I do think that a low mileage, low owner, white, very good condition, full leather, all that sort of stuff, ST150 will go up in price at some point. I do think that the market value for a very, very good one is still very, very strong at the moment. I do feel that they are going to be going up in price very soon. They are becoming a modern classic, in my opinion. I know there will be people out there that go, no, you'll go for something else, you go for a different car, but I do think these cars are something to watch out for. A low mileage, white, good condition one, if you look on the marketplace, the first one I can actually physically find for sale right now as I have a look is a mount tuned one, ST170, and it's actually up for £3,200. So although you can buy them very, very cheap, I have friends that have bought them for £1,000, but they need a lot of work, bodywork and stuff. I still think a low mileage, low owner version of this car, say in white, is still going to be going up in price in the next couple of years. I know there will be people out there that will say, oh no, I'll go and buy something else, these cars are faster, blah blah, but I genuinely think these cars, if you were to buy a white one and to buy one that's low owner, low mileage, I think they're going up in price. But we'll see in the future. I do think that a white one, low mileage, and hopefully one day when I watch this video back, they'll be increasing in price, or I might be lying and they might be a lot cheaper than they are right now. But I do think white, low mileage, low owner one is the one to buy. Now, number 5, very, very interesting. Of course, this is me. I'm a bit weird and I like an old Lexus. So the LS400 is a car that I've personally watched increase in price over the last couple of years, and again, it's a car that I would like to invest in and enjoy and then sell at some point, not for huge profits or anything, but for something that I think you're going to be hard pressed to find in the next couple of years. So if you're trying to find a white one with good condition leather, with low owners and slightly low mileage, they're already going for £4,000 to £5,000 for these cars. I've got a 215,000 mile facelift green one on a V plate, and it is £2,295 at the moment. There will be, again, people out there be like, Jamie, what are you talking about? But if you go and actually have a look at these cars, go and appreciate them for what they are, you'll realise how far in advance these cars were and how fantastic they are at doing pretty much everything. Yes, MPG is always going to be one of those things with a V8, but I do think in the next couple of years the LS400 is going to start increasing. I've seen an increase personally, overlooking through ads and stuff over the last couple of years, just, scoping them out more than anything. I've driven one as well for the channel, really enjoyed it. So I do think that if you're going to put £2,000 into one of those, I do think you're going to see some sort of rise in prices. If not, you've enjoyed a lovely LS400. They are fantastic. The last and final car that I'm going to bring up today, again, leave your comments below and let me know if I'm right or wrong, but I genuinely think a Civic TypeR and EP3 is going to increase in value very, very soon. I have, in my lifetime, in the last, I'd say, couple of years, seen a slight increase in these cars. Not necessarily the one you can pick up for 1,500 quid that's got 170,000 miles on it and has been wrapped around a bush. I'm talking about a Premier Edition, low mileage, good owner car. You're still looking at over £3,000 to £4,000 for one of these, and I don't think they've ever got any cheaper than that. In fact, I think because there's less of them and they've been destroyed, they've been parted out, the engines have been pulled out, that they've gone up in price. Now, looking around, there isn't actually that many on eBay that are cheap. There are a few, but I do think that the FN2 has come underneath the EP3. Very, very bold statement, I know, in pricing, but I do believe because the EP3 was so good with its handling, it had the power, it had the excitement factor, and it came out at a really good point in Honda's sort of history, and I do think its successors weren't as good as the EP3. I've said that in, multiple videos, and I think the majority of people would agree with me. This means that the prices have actually been increased, I think. If you were to find a JDM white one, these are already increasing in prices. I don't think they ever really came down, but they're still kicking around the 6, 7, nearly even 8 for a lower mileage one. I've seen one over 10 at a dealership. These cars are ones that you need to invest in because I don't think they're ever going to fall in price. They're never going to go down. In fact, I think if you keep it nice, you just enjoy it, keep it relatively standard, don't destroy it, they're going to be worth a good amount of money in the not so distant future. Now, let me know in the comments below what you think of all the cars on this list. Again, there should have been 5, but there is 6 because I thought I'd put the EP3 in there because it is a car that is appreciating price. I think it is one of those cars. But of course, guys, let me know below what you think of this video. Please give it a like if you haven't and subscribe for more car content, and I'll see you on the next one.